Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a bit different because I'm not doing a tutorial or a review or whatever. This time I'm actually doing a video on how to get into Balisong flipping. So maybe you're watching this video because, you clicked on it because it seemed cool, or maybe you're actually looking for advice on this. If you're watching this, you probably got a Balisong recently and are thinking about learning how to flip it and whatever, and looking for some advice. So I'm here to give this to you. When you first get a Balisong, it can seem clumsy. I mean, a lot of people flip it around and they'll do stuff like this, but they really don't know how to use it. And maybe they know this because they've seen it in movies everywhere, and it's like you want to learn how to be good at it, but also you don't really know where to start. And so I have a couple tips on what you can do that'll actually make you not only good at flipping, but it will keep your interest in it, right? It doesn't matter if you're really good at driving a car if you don't like it, right? And so the same thing is true with Balisong flipping. You can be really good and then have it kind of be dead in your mind. And so, yeah, these tips will help you kind of get into it and then stay in it if you pay attention to a specific one, and I'll tell you which one that is if you can't figure it out yourself. So the first piece of advice I have for you is get a decent Balisong. Now, I don't mean go spend $500 on the top of the line, cracker racking right off the bat, right? I don't mean, break the bank trying to get the best thing in the world, because it's going to downgrade your experience with it because you put so much money into it that you're not going to want to flip it much because it's worth a lot. So get something that's cheaper, but don't get something that's trash. There's a lot of Balisongs out there, some of which are actually pretty weirdly highly acclaimed. And one thing that I experienced was I saw a video on a certain knife, and I went out and bought that knife, and it ended up being terrible, right? Even though the person in the video said it was good. And this wasn't a non-Balisong flipper. This is actually a pretty prominent flipper. And so don't take one opinion. Try and get multiple opinions on that same knife. On that same knife to try and actually broaden the scope of the people that have flipped it, and then go buy a knife. My recommendation as far as price goes is spend $40 or more. Don't spend anything more than $100. This is your first Balisong. You're not going to care about getting the best thing in the world, right? What you're going to want to do is you want to get something that's not trash, but not too expensive. So I would recommend something like this, the Teflon Volp, or even better, let's say you're going to be flipping outside a lot, which I recommend for a reason I'll get into later. Let's say you are going to be flipping outside a lot, maybe over concrete, or you do what I do a lot of the times and drop it. I would recommend getting this, the Balisong Canyon. I will say this is not a very high quality flipper. However, it's perfect for someone who is going to be dropping it a lot or messing around and possibly, letting people get onto it that might break it or whatever. The Teflon Volp is a great option because not only is it a good flipper, it has good grip on it, so you're less likely to actually drop it, even if you're doing a trick where, sorry, I'm learning the kiss goodbye, and it's really freaking rough. There we go. So, anyways, it has a little grip, so if you're learning, something like the full twirl or whatever that maybe requires more finger dexterity than you normally use, you're less likely to drop this thing. But yeah, get a decent Balisong. The Balisong Canyon that I have goes for about $40. The false edge version goes for about $50. The Teflon Volp, I believe, is about 65-ish. That area, I don't know, I could be wrong. But yeah, so get something decent, right? And get one you like. That's another thing. don't focus so much on the specs of the knife and how well it flips and all these public opinions and blah, 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 and get something that you really don't like the look of, right? Like, if this doesn't look good to you, don't buy it. I don't care if it's the best flipper in the world that you can find out there. I would rather have you get a $30 Exomo flip rod that you love the look of and have it break within a month than have you buy something expensive that flips really well and have you not love it, not flip it because you hate the way it looks, right? So get something you're going to enjoy. My second piece of advice I have for you is flip every day. Flip often, flip constantly, right? Because if you just buy something, I don't care if it's $30 or $300, if you buy it and never flip it, that's a waste of money, right? And not only is it a waste of money, it's a waste of time because you had to be anticipating it to get there, and then you had to spend the time to actually fill out the order form and blah, 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 and that's time wasted. So if you don't flip it, there's no point in getting it. Yeah, so flip often, right? That's going to keep you into the hobby. And another thing that goes hand in hand with this is watch tutorials, right? I have a couple tutorials on my channel. Big Flips has like an unholy amount of tutorials. Squid Industries has some good ones, right? And I guess Will Hirsch has a few. But like, go out and find tutorials. Find someone that you enjoy watching and watch their stuff. Because that's basically going to keep you in the runnings of learning new things. If you have a Balisong and you like flipping it, but all you know is this, you're going to get tired of that pretty darn quickly, and you're going to fall away from it. But if you learn new stuff, you won't. I remember like a couple of days ago, and it doesn't even have to be something new and extravagant that looks super flashy. It can be a small variation to something you already know. The other day I was flipping, and I was kind of like, yeah, like I only do behind the 8-ball and some other things, and it's not exactly like that special. I was kind of getting bored with what I was doing. And then a wonderful person over in the Squid Industries thing, I believe it was Lucas who was doing the video, because it was one of the older ones, but he taught me a really cool trick, and I'm still pretty bad at it, but it was the thing that actually, was like, oh, there's more stuff I can do, right? I can actually stretch my brain. That was the trick right there. And it was actually like, oh, I still want to do this. So go find tutorials frequently, and that's going to keep you in the hobby pretty well. Oh gosh, even if you mess up a ton like I do. All right, another piece of advice I have for you is flip in public. This is a big one. If you only flip at your house, that means you're not going to be flipping very often. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the last one. What you need to do if you're going to get into Balisong flipping is get over the fear of messing up. If you're in public and you're really bad at behind the 8-ball, don't just do the basic opening over again. Like, practice it, right? If you mess up right there all the time, then mess up there 20 billion times until you get it, right? And then once you get it, then not only will you be a little bit over that fear, but you're practicing in public, which is typically mostly where people are going to be. A lot of times, if you work a 9-to-5 job or a 8-to-4 job or whatever, then you're going to be working a lot of the time, and you're in public a lot of the time, meaning you're not really going to have very much time to flip elsewhere, right? So bring a butterfly knife with you and flip it around, because that's going to grow your skill set and actually get you into the hobby. I flip every day constantly. I mean, there's not one place I go where I don't bring this thing, unless it's like an airplane or whatever, right? Because I love it so much, and I know that if I were to just leave it places, I wouldn't flip as much as I do now. So I think it's the second to final, but it could be the final tip I have for you is take breaks. This is crucial, right? Now, wait, Benji, you said flip every day. Yeah, but also I don't mean flip every day, 365 days a week, every year of your life. 365 days a week, question mark? I don't know, whatever. The point is this. you need to take some breaks. Recently, I went on a missions trip to the Dominican Republic, in which I obviously could not bring a Balisong or a Balisong trainer. And plus, the goal of the mission was to be there, spread water filters, and spread the love of Jesus. So, flipping isn't really conducive to that. So, I took about a week off from flipping, and when I got back, I had that, pull to actually learn a bunch of new stuff. Oh, gosh, wait. Oh, gosh. Hold on, I gotta nail that. Oh, dang it. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. Anyways, it gave me that drive and that pull because I was away from it a long time, right? And the reason for that is because I take for granted how fun this is because I have access to it so much, which Americans do that with a lot of other things too. However, when I took that break, it made me realize, I like this a lot more than I consciously think about. And so when you take those breaks, that'll actually allow you to keep that love for the hobby going, right? And on a final note, that goes along with watching tutorials, so it's not a full note thing. Goodness gracious. It's not a full thing, but watch other people flip. The biggest thing that keeps me going into the hobby, I'll see someone do a trick and it's like, wow, I really want to learn that, Because maybe I don't like watching tutorials at that moment. Maybe I'm not interested in flipping that moment. But if I watch other people flip, that's like, oh, wow, this guy's really good at it, Or that trick looks really cool. And then that'll spur me on to go learn it, right? So those things are going to be the things that are going to keep you going in the Balisong hobby and spend over $200 buying more Balisongs. Why does my hand look like that on camera? Anyways, so that's going to keep you from dying off of the hobby or losing interest in it or just being stagnant and only doing one trick, right? Flipping every day, flipping in public, having a decent Balisong, taking breaks, and flipping often, I think were the 5. I may have already said that, but whatever. Anyways, those are my final notes for you guys on that. I hope this video was helpful. I encourage you, please go out and buy a decent Balisong, flip every day, do the things I said, and really get into the hobby, right? Because it's a truly awesome hobby that has some really good benefits like finger dexterity and hand-eye coordination and whatnot. And it's just fun. So I encourage you, please do it, and I will see you in the next video.